Hello and welcome back, everyone. I want to take a little bit of time today to discuss floor plan shape, which is something I didn't spend a lot of time talking about in my previous lesson. I showed you an exemplar of one that I created that was rectangular shaped, but I don't want you to feel that you're bound to doing something so basic in terms of a perimeter shape. So I Googled floor plans L shape, and this is what comes up. And there's various examples of what this looks like. But in a nutshell, it's just an L-shaped floor plan. So you can click through these and take a look, keeping in mind our floor plan only includes 4 rooms, not the multitude that you see in these examples. And it's an interesting looking floor plan, I think. So I just want to show it to you as an example of something that you can select and plan around. Now, I also created this little mock-up in AutoCAD showing some possible floor plan shapes going from very basic to something more complicated. And this is based off what I showed you yesterday, a simple rectangle. Now, this is very simple to put a roof on. And if you want to pick a rectangular shaped pool house, go ahead and do that. That's totally fine. Even the simplest would be a square. And that would be extremely simple to add a roof to. And as we get more complicated, something like this, again, is not so bad at all. It has a little bump out here. Again, not difficult to add a roof to. But when you get into something like this, and again, this is okay as well. But you need to make sure that if you're designing a pool house with this type of shape, that you're keeping things symmetrical, right? So when you're also coming up with your square footage, remember that you're trying to meet 625 square feet. Within 2 square feet is acceptable. So you're treating this width and this length as its own calculation. You're treating this rectangle from here to here as its own calculation. Same with this one. And then same with the one in the middle. And once you figured all those out, you would add them all together and see what number you come up with, right? So you have to think of your calculations. You have to think of these little bump outs as their own width times length, right? And then you add them all together, right? Making sure that this is symmetrical. So if you're not going to make these things symmetrical, you're going to run into trouble when you're creating your roof later. This one here, not too much different from an L-shaped. Again, it has a little bump out here and a little bump out here. So all of this is acceptable, right? You can do whatever you like. Just remember you have to put a roof on there. So don't do something totally complicated because it'll make your roof too difficult to add. So that means lots of crazy bump outs, like bump outs attached to bump outs, things like that. Don't do things like that. Don't do things that are just totally different and off the wall just for the sake of being different. Because we have a lot of experience and evidence of how to create a home. And we don't typically see things that are just really out there. So that means no triangle houses, no round houses, things like that. Try to keep things similar to the examples that I'm showing you today. You can also do a Google search for floor plans perimeter, right? It gives you lots of examples as well. I would avoid doing something like this with an arc. I would avoid doing something like this as well. This is going to make the roof really hard. But you could do something like this. I mean, this isn't so bad, the way this perimeter looks. That's actually okay. Even this is okay. It wouldn't be so bad to put a roof on a shape like this. This would just be a gazebo type roof in this section only. We'd combine it with some other roof styles. Of course, the challenge is being able to find the proper square footage in an irregular shape like this. But it is possible. So if you're really good at math, then go for it. You could even try something like this. So that's going to conclude my lesson for today. It's just a quick little discussion of floor plan, perimeters, and shape. So while you're doing the rough planning, and you're going to be working on this for a couple of days, I just wanted to sneak this little lesson discussion in there and help you think, and maybe it might help you to rework and rethink some of the things you're doing, right? If you want to have something a little more interesting, right? If you're really trying to pursue architecture as a possible path for you down the road. So that's it for me. I'm going to sign off. I will talk to you soon, and good luck with today's work.